Yes. Welcome to the Saturday talk show segment. We are at Revision 2013, and we first got to talk about the Coda Mayhem we had today. We had the finals of the live coding Mayhem 2014, 15, 5,000 something,
5,000.
about that P minus. And I'm here with Skomp. So, Skomp, you're participating in the finals.
Yeah.
Actually, you managed to get yourself through to all the rounds and participate in the finals.
Yeah.
How was it like to live code some shaders for the revision visitors?
Okay, in the first round I was nearly shitting my pants. I had some really bad bug in my ray marching loop. So there was basically nothing on the screen, like 20 minutes, and I was looking for that bug, and I was really scared just to.
You were scared, so you need spear.
Yeah, I was just scared to make a fool out of me because, it was just stupid what I did.
So at one point you were almost giving up, but you actually managed to pull an effect out of it. So was it some kind of last-minute rescue, or how was the feeling about giving up and then winning the round actually?
Yeah, well, actually I found the bug within the last 5 minutes, and then I just thought, just put some tunnel there. That's a quick fix. Yeah, maybe the crowd will be pleased by it, but also maybe not.
So how has been the final round? It was quite hard. You actually lost it, not really lost, because it was quite entertaining to the crowd. You had fun, I think, but would you do it next year as well after not winning the thing?
Yeah, of course. It's really fun. I just recommend that you have a break in between the semifinals and the finals, because I just barely smoked half a cigarette and 3 people came up to me. Oh, they're already calling for you. You have to go on stage and code again. I was like, oh, what the fuck? They don't have a battle for the 3rd place. So yeah, that was quite hard for me actually.
Maybe we have to introduce the live coding segment for the stream viewers. We have 25 minutes of live coding, shader live coding, and today we had the semifinals. We had a qualification round yesterday, and we actually pulled the semifinals, and then there was just a short break, about 5 minutes, and then we started with the finals. So it might have been a little hard for the participants.
Yeah, it's hard to come up with 2 different effects within like 1 hour, because the crowd won't be pleased if you code the same effect again, maybe with less bugs.
But for you, it was like you had like the same start with the effect, but actually you just pulled it off different in the end.
Yeah, well, the start for a ray marching scene is basically the same all the time. You just start with the loop and then you put something on, and in most cases it's a sphere because it's the most simple thing. So it looks the same in the beginning, and it looked the same for all participants. They all put up a sphere, at least as I saw it. Except for Kabuto, who did a voxel engine, but nobody recognized the voxel engine. He could have easily won it if he used the voxels a little bit more.
Yeah, we had a little problem with actually involving a coder to comment on what is happening on the screen. We tried to improve it with the semifinals and the finals today. So maybe more clear to the viewers now what is actually happening during the event. So we actually trying to improve it. It was the first time we had such an event at Revision. And
it was really nice. It was really nice. It was real fun to code on stage for the people who were applauding and cheering up. It was really, really nice event. Do it again.
so you definitely recommend it for next year.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And we had some discussions on Pod about people are scary to code in front of the crowd and get things done. And they're like the boss feeding, someone standing behind you coding. And is it? Do you feel some kind of problems when you're on the stage, or is it like your natural flow? You're in the zone and get things done, and you're actually hyped by the crowd. Do you feel the feedback of the crowd?
Yeah, well, during the first round, I guess you stood like left to me and watched me coding, and people were taking photos of me, and there was a camera right next to me, so I felt pretty watched at that moment. In the second round, it was different. I just was in the zone, as you said. I concentrated on the code, and everything worked out as expected.
Seems like H7 want to add
awesome.
something.
Yeah,
Maybe more than just
awesome.
awesome. The approval sign from H7, it's awesome. So yeah, H7, you're here to actually talk about the ASCII and the Compo.
So I heard.
So actually at Revision we don't have remote entries, so it's pure entries from actually visitors. That's quite uncommon for ASCII and these days. But maybe you could give a quick introduction to what is ASCII ANSI.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the organizers for having us cramped up in like 3 seats, like in a Mercedes C-Class. Well, it kind of feels awkward for the guy who is in the middle. That would be me.
And me.
But anyway, the whole current dilemma with allowing remote entries and with what comes to ASCII and ANSI combos is that you have to allow some kind of non-pre-release stuff and so on. And most of the people who release stuff in the ANSI and ASCII skin are kind of like belonging to 2 different groups and so on. So they we have this group called Blocktronics, and Blocktronics is known to own your ass in different kind of combos. Am I allowed to say ass?
Yeah, it's Germany, but you're allowed to say it.
Arsch.
Ass only means donkey.
Yes, and gay still means happy. And so we have some like 2 different groups competing of 2 different categories, and most of the people who are on the kind of like different categories belong to those 2 groups, Break ASCII and Blocktronics and so on. So it's ANSI and ASCII is, from my view, it's coming more like community stuff than traditional competition stuff.
Yeah, it had like a little low for the last 2 or 3 years, and then actually Blocktronics came back into the ANSI ASCII business, and as you said, owned everyone. Actually, some parties allowed already released pieces in their competition. Do you approve of that idea? It somehow loses the spirit of a competition with you have a party, you have a theme, and you have a production especially for a party. And with some parties was like you see pictures that are already like 6 months old, but it is better to have old pictures and see them again in the competition, or more this is a strict approach with saying it has to be released as a party and not before. What do you think about that?
Well, like I was discussing with Triple X, Toby XXX from Howjob, one of the key characters behind Evoke, he was telling me that they allowed remote entries and also allowed it to be like released during the same year as the Evoke was held, and so on. But the most of the stuff that was really awesome, it was made for the Evoke itself, like for the current Evoke party. And well, from my point of view, I don't really accept like stuff like X-bins that are like 160 or 330 wide ASCII or ANSI pictures and so on, because they're not like the traditional ANSI and ASCII.
Yeah, it's taking away the limitations of what ANSI and ASCII actually is. When you allow X-bin, it's like for the people on the screen, it's like an ASCII ANSI picture, but without the limitations in the widths. So you actually can have like 1,000 columns and just. It's like almost like pixeling a picture.
Yeah, and then with different kind of setups, you can actually influence on the setup of the characters and so on. So you can like have custom palettes and custom colors and custom width, and then from my point of view, it doesn't really make sense to draw ASCII or ANSI in that way. It's just another way of expressing stuff and so on. It's just another art form. But for competitions and so on, I would really like to have like 25 or 24 long screens just for pure viewing.
So the ASCII ANSI competition at Revision this year was actually about 5 entries. So it might have been more if they allowed already released pieces. But are you actually satisfied with the competition? Was it a viewing pleasure, or how do you think about it?
Well, viewing of my own pieces on the big screen is always a pleasure for me.
Obviously.
Obviously. But for the piece by Skin and H2O, the font was a bit off and so on. Yeah, completely off, not a bit off. But I would have really liked to see some stuff from Urs. He's the guy from Mercure. I don't know if he's around here somewhere. He can hear me, but Urs, I love your stuff. And also, it doesn't matter if you're not like capable of doing like awesome mega pieces and so on. You could just do something for the compo, because the ANSI and ASCII compos and the ANSI ASCII pictures, they really shaped up the BBS stuff that was going on in the 90s and in the early 90s as well. And in a kind of way, they also shaped up the demo scene.
And then they got lost, and everything else is more important.
Yes, tell them to hasian.bbs.fi.
Yeah, there's actually active BBSs, so if you want to get involved into ASCII ANSI, what resources would you recommend?
There's this awesome tool called Pablo Draw. It's multi-platform, it's for Linux, and I'm not sure how you actually get it working with Linux, but still it's for Linux.
I
Windows.
actually drawing on Linux with it. It's actually a mono binary. You need some extra libraries to get it running, but it's no problem. It runs quite stable. So it's, as you said, multi-platform. It's Mac OS X, it's Linux, it's Windows.
And also OS X, and there's this funny feature that you can set up a server or join a server, and you can like draw with your friends and online at the same canvas.
I guess that's actually an important feature for you electronics guys, because you're mainly organized about Facebook nowadays, I think.
Yeah, and the so-called most longest ANSI ever was from the Blocktronics, and it was made in a cooperation in one server as well, and 10,000 lines and so on.
Without any crashings and problems, it went smooth.
It kind of crashed in the middle of it, but yeah.
That might happen, so always safe. And I think we would have a little advertisement segment about some socks. I hear cooler socks nowadays. So maybe you give the microphone.
Greetings to the accession only, fucking celebers.
So you're a fashion lamer.
Yeah,
What do you want to advertise now?
I want to, well, 2 words. Coolers, socks.
Please introduce yourself and then say it again.
Hello, I am little Bitchard of Coolers and MFX. And I would like to introduce the newest area of Coolers merchandise available to everyone right now. It's the Coolers socks. We are moving on to garment. We used to do demos, but we'll be doing garment. Coming next year, it's the Coolers underpants.
Curious cocks, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
So-
Coolers cocks. Sounds nice.
So thank you guys, and I think we will place you with the Mercury crowd. I steal this from you, cause you can have it back actually. We have more beer, and yeah, thanks for your time, and please, Psychon, where are you going? Okay, you have to stay. One final word.
It doesn't matter who you vote for, it does matter that you vote. So please, people, get on the voting system and place your votes.
Maybe for H7? Maybe. Oh, there's come back. So finally, we can start all over again now. There's Cube as well. So, yes, thank you for your time. Thank you for participating in
you.
our late talk show. And have a nice day at Revision. Have a nice party. And feel free to take your free beer along. Thank you. So, up next, please join me on our virtual super megalactic super studio.
Hi, my name is Compo from Mercury.
Who needs a beer? You have a beer, you have a beer, you come prepared.
And I have a Coke, and this is very nice.
Yeah, I'm Psychon from Mercury also. Yeah.
And we're basically still missing Lass and Urs, but they promised that they will be here soonish.
But they're not important anyway.
No, you can't say it like that, because demo making is like a team sport, and I mean, I don't want to go too much into it, but if you look at like the last 3 or 4 64Ks we did, it was like one of them was 41 kilobyte, one of them was like 43 kilobyte, and they were like okay-ish productions. But if you do like a thing like this, where you do a bit more, you can say it's like a 1-guy production or a 2-guy production. It's always like a team effort, and that's what demo scene is about. So
Maybe we should give a little background information. You guys had a 64K intro in the competition this year. Maybe you want to give a little background on the story and info about that release.
But haven't we learned from Pix Tours great talks that you have to have a secret concept that only you know, and you work on that, and if you tell it to people, then the magic is gone, and we can't let that happen, can we?
Yeah, of course we won't. Well, if you watch it a few times, you might figure it out. And we've been working on this for about half a year, I guess. Starting with the material system and basically trying to get physically based rendering into 64K. There was a technical challenge, and then the other thing was the concept, which you can see for yourself and figure out and like or not.
So how did you actually manage to get a project like this working? So you're from different countries. Psychon is from Switzerland. You're from Germany. How do you manage to actually get something done?
IRC.
Team viewer.
Yeah, basically IRC and TeamViewer. I think it's not too hard to cross international borders if you have the technology to do so. And the whole concept of doing the intro was basically done in the team. There were Kuba got the main idea what he wanted to do, and so we sat together, we talked a lot. Had a Mumble channel, had our IRC, had TeamViewer, and figured it out together what we wanted to do. Yeah.
And so normally it's like you have one guy actually organizing the project. He has an idea, he's doing storyboards maybe, if he's really organized. So that's nothing you do, so it's just you explain it, we are a chat and things come together.
No, we're not organized, we don't have one guy or anything. We just all the last projects we did was just we are motivated, what are we going to do, and then we do it, and whoever's in is in. And this was the first time where we did a real-time production which actually had some kind of concept that we decided before we had some like scenes that we could throw together. Yeah, so that was kind of the new approach for us as well.
So we have another special guest coming up. You have to come in front and stand here to actually be somehow in the... I guess you're out of the screen there.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you won't see him in the screen, but he's definitely here. We have also Lars from Mercury here. You told me earlier that you actually did some of the basics of the release, but not got involved that much, or?
Well, actually, I basically did nothing, but this stuff something like years ago.
So you just wanted the credits?
Well, I did nothing, and I didn't ask for being in the credits, so...
He did basic stuff like the shader handling code and initialization code, and well, without that, the window wouldn't open, so...
And you fixed it. Yeah. It wasn't working yesterday, and you fixed it, so...
It's Lars the fixer.
Yeah, I don't sleep that often. So it's a bit mixed up. No, basically, my rhythm is not aligning to 24 hours, so that's the story there.
Yeah, and Urs and I, who were finishing the thing, didn't sleep last night as well, so we've both been awake for the last 48 hours or so.
So, and what's also interesting, what do you think about your competitors? What do you think about the 4K and especially the 64K PC intro Compo? Any opinions on?
I have no memory of that competition. I have. I'm completely train wrecked inside my head. I can't say anything. I'm sorry.
There's one quote. One quote. Oh yeah, nice. There's one quote which is floating around in my head about this whole idea, and this was I think it was from Cooper, that we really want to be part of a great competition. Yeah. So we really like to have other groups releasing great stuff. It's not fun if you have the only nice intro in a competition.
Like it was okay, but compared to the others, it's awesome. But the others are just okay. You don't want to have something, a situation like that.
No,
you want to have a tough competition.
No, that's not fun. So you want to be on the edge. Otherwise, why?
So I think what Plykin is trying to say that if you do like a release where you know that you have something good, and it's not like nobody else has basically made something and there will be like 2 or 3 compo fillers and it will be clear cut. That's not fun. But if you really worked on something and really put a lot of time and effort into it, and you, yeah, guys,
Virtual beer.
guys, put more effort into this. Really, no, but the feeling when you sit and watch the compo and you know you have done a good thing and you don't know if your entry will be shown last, and you hope that after your entry there will be like this end of competition thing, and you really don't know, and this is like very fun. Yeah, take the beer, someone.
He does not drink beer.
I don't drink beer.
So,
My religion
fine.
forbids me. So.
This is a serious talk show.
Yeah, okay, so I hope I got the point across. So it really is no fun if you sit in a competition and you know, okay, it will be, or you basically release the compo filler yourself and you know it will be great and you will have a laugh. But the feeling, will somebody have something after us? Will there come the end of competition after our release, or will there be someone else? Will it be better? And you can't have this with like a release that you don't put effort into. That's basically it, yeah.
One important question: where are the videos from the Compo studio from last year?
We don't want to see the videos from the Compo studio from
There
last year.
are no videos from the Compo studio last year. The
Right
server
answer.
crashed and nobody recorded it, and it's
Well,
somehow
maybe the
Okay.
same should happen this year.
maybe. But
By the
actually,
way, where's Oki?
Oki is saved to the same server as the Compo studios last year. He crashed
Oh, that's a pity.
to the hotel. So,
Oh.
but yeah, actually, you mentioned quite a good fact. With some competition at some parties, it's always like people are winning with a solid release, but it's like you have 5 or 4, 6 releases in a competition, and there's one awesome release and like 4.
You mean Evoke?
No particular party. And there's like 4 mediocre releases, and then you have some kind of competitions where you have 20 high-class releases. So you really prefer the one with the 20 good releases to.
Yeah, maybe this sounds a bit rough, but in German it's wir wollen Gegner, keine Opfer.
Yeah, maybe one thing to add this to this whole idea. To quote a famous person, which I really like. Now
But
I've
not
lost
Hitler.
my Faden. Come on. What did you want to tell?
Yeah, you wanted to quote
I
someone.
want to say. I mean, our release right now, it wasn't that great that it could be. There's always room for improvement. So, if there would be a better entry, if it really be something awesome, great, our reaction would be to try to do something better, and that's I think one of the main reasons why we're doing this stuff.
So you need the competition. You want to have it to actually get things done. You need it as energy for your next production.
I don't really know if I want to say that we need it, but it's really nice to have it.
I mean, you could maybe relate it to sports somehow. I mean, if you compare it to Formula One, you see like a guy like the Sebastian Vettel. I should be a fan of him because I'm a German, but I'm not, because
You're
he's
talking
like
to nerds
no.
that don't know shit
Yeah, but-
about the Formula One. So
yeah, well, whatever. But I mean, it goes for every sport. That if you don't have an arch enemy, or like there's a great battle to be won, and only if you have a good opponent, it's a battle. Otherwise, it's like annexing a country. I shouldn't be saying that as a German. Shit.
oh, now with Russia, it's okay to say it as a German. So
No. I mean, really. But if you compare it like to the great battle of Prost and Senna in the 90s or something, or great tennis matches. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
Tennis? Are you
What the
kidding
fuck?
us?
Could you let Compo talk a bit more, please?
Thank you. What?
Obviously, Cooper is not as a nerd as adoptee, so maybe you could sum it up for people who are not into sports.
Street Fighter 2.
Now we just like to have some competition, which means if there's only 3 releases and ours is the only one that has like 100 hours effort put into it, and the others have 10 hours, so it won't be a fun competition. But if we are in a competition and we look at the other releases and you see really there's been love put into them, that's rewarding, because it makes us feel that the love that we put into our release gets received as well.
So, as a last question, can you remember a situation where you actually lost to a production, but you came in second place, but it still was like, it was such an ace production, it was so perfect, it's totally worse that they have won, and next year we will do it better.
Did we lose?
Did you ever lose?
Actually, I think all the productions that we really loved ourselves have always made first place. That's a coincidence, I think, but it's nice.
We have a good release strategy to choose parties where, well, no, another point I
where
want
most
to
of
mention.
Mercury are organizers, and they can somehow manipulate the voting system. And
we would never do something like that. Another important point is that even if you put a lot of time into it, we are doing this now for years, and keeping up with that pace is kind of hard. So to get to that point, you have to invest a lot of time, and we encourage people to do so, because we would like to see other groups becoming really, really good. If you look at old Mercury releases, you will see, well, we were beginners back then too. And we started developing techniques and so on, and getting better and better. And it's important that other people just don't see something like, wow, this is awesome, I will never reach that, but try harder and keep going to reach that at some point of time, because it's possible, but it's just hard work.
And it's also just fun.
Exactly.
Maybe maybe one thing to add, I see a lot of this from the point of the artist dilemma, where you never... Urs is here. Nice.
We have like all of Mercury here.
Yeah.
We managed to get them somehow.
Yeah, just to finish my point, from my view, which is basically an artist view, and the artist dilemma, which is never to be satisfied with its own work, I think there's always room for improvement, and to even if you did a great release, you want to do something better next time. And we really like to see this spirit in other people, in other groups as well. And seeing that someone really puts a lot of energy and thought and love into production, that makes us happy too. Yeah. This is scene spirit alive, and we love it.
Yeah, I can only totally agree with Python on that. I mean, in everything that you are trying to do, you have like a perceived limit, and the thing that we have experienced in the last times often is that sometimes when you approach this limit, I mean, when you get closer and even touch this limit, that it then vanishes, and there will be a new limit, and it's further away. And if you then imagine that you would talk to yourself from 3 months ago and would tell you what you have achieved, you wouldn't believe yourself. And this is a very, if you have a moment of clarity where you can see that, this is a very good experience, and I can only encourage people to do so. And maybe this entry will do this, maybe for only one person, and then we will have made it for that one person. I don't know.
So now it's a moment for Urs to screw over all his group mates.
Yeah.
What do you think about the new Mercury 64K release?
Well, I think it's great because we've worked for quite a bit of time on it. Although, of course, I mean, I don't know what the others already have said about it, so I don't want to just repeat all the points.
Yeah, they said you factored, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
put
I guess-
like bugs in it.
Yeah, I put all the bugs into the demo system on purpose for you to find, and you did good. All the bugs that remained, a lot of bugs remained, that crashed the system a couple of times were not occurring on the Compo machine at all, and this was the first thing for us that we actually managed to build a binary. We now have a make demo button into in our tool, and it came out and it ran on the Compo machine the first time. I think this never happened before.
We didn't even write a single line of C++ code at the party place, so that was quite new as well. I commented out one line actually.
I wrote 4 lines of GLSL shader code.
Yeah, I think I wrote something like 10 or something. The rest was just movie. Yeah, yeah.
Schwanzvergleich.
That's a good thing because it means we now have a tool support that enables us to just move sliders and buttons and spin controls and things to create the thing.
So basically, like in the basic strategy of Mercury, I'm the kind of the graphics artist of the group.
He's the one that complains if the tool doesn't.
Yeah, I'm the one who complains. And I just want to say, we had this awesome thing that Cube and Urs both worked on this tool chain together for quite a time, and they did wonderful. And I don't know really how to say it, but there was just some energy in it, and they both put an awful lot of it in it. And so basically, when it was my turn to use all this stuff, there was more than I could handle. So that's quite a nice record. Of course, yeah.
The fundamental idea to start the toolchain that we're using now was born out of hate, because that's a very good motivation, because about 1 year ago at Payback 2013 I wrote a demo with Topi44 and we put all parameters in by hand editing header files, and after that party I swore never to make a demo again by editing header files, and I decided that I will not do any proper release before I've got a tool where I can click and drag parameters.
But now you're editing shader files instead of header files.
It's much better. It feels better.
Yeah, I have the same experience. The last time I wrote a thing editing header files was White One, which was my first 4K intro, and I had bad dreams at night because I had to watch that thing so often, because it was just possible by editing header files and watching the whole thing, then noticing that at minute 2 or something was wrong, edit the header file, start it again, watch it again closely if anything breaks, and repeat that for a day, and then you just dream about the shitty thing and you hate it. So yeah, well, we're better off with the tool now.
So you really got your tool chain improved by now.
If I may say like a final word to that, what I really like about those guys is, if I come up with like a crazy idea, like, hey, let's put the pictures of this thing in the dialogue or in the drop down, they are first like, okay, and then we do it anyway, and it turns out great because we have, I think, a kind of energy that kind of allows us to do that sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah, and also we just try to keep it simple. we just do the thing.
Keep it simple, but be awesome.
Yes, that's just the thing.
That's a slogan for Mercury.
Okay.
Maybe one thing to the intro as a whole. I think one thing that stands out a little bit is the whole post processing going on, and this was really I think it was combination of of just the right people and a good portion of luck. I have quite a big background in feature films and the whole post-processing pipeline going on in this area, and I kind of, I don't really know if I can say it, but kind of pushed for a way to edit demos and the whole post-processing pipeline in a similar way. And just Urs and Qubit were totally awesome on this idea and implemented so much great stuff. And I think there was a big thing which allowed this intro to look the way it looks.
Yeah, and every time you tell us, implement this is good, it's used in feature films, the people use it to make all kinds of stuff, then we say, yeah, well, whatever, we implement it, then we play around with it, and then we notice, whoa, that's really awesome.
More in detail, most of the things you tell me to implement as post-processing, I think is silly. I implement it, I can't use it, whenever I touch it, it breaks, and I give it to you, and immediately it turns awesome. I don't know how you do it, it's magic. I think normal people, or I hope that I'm not disabled in this way, when I touch a post-processing button, it goes from coda colors to worse.
It's a multiplier.
However, Psychon and Cooper, they touch them and they nudge them in little bits less than a pixel, and suddenly it turns awesome. I don't know how you guys do it. I like to implement more of those.
It's the infamous awesome button.
Yeah, and then we had like the things like the squint thing that was like I discovered by accident and while doing in 8K that we may or may not finish, depending on.
So you actually should be coding right now.
Yes, but it's Truck's fault that I'm here, so I can totally blame it on him. And it was like, yeah, I figured this. Let me put it in, and it was like a thing of 10 minutes or so, and then I think I already posted in the what's it called? The thing where you said you wanted to post.
What?
Yeah, the random work in progress set. Exactly. It's such a thing when you then apply it. It's like a before and after kind of shot. You see that the picture makes totally much more sense and it looks much more in harmony with the rest of the picture, and you really start to ask yourself, how couldn't I have seen that like 2 years ago? How did I do it in this shitty way all the time?
Oh, I guess it's that part of the show again. It's 5 minutes of rant from Truck.
So here's
Okay.
the thing.
Welcome to my show.
It's his show.
I'm just going to turn it over to Mercury. They're saying everything that I would say anyway. 5 minutes of Mercury.
He only took like 15 seconds. That's
It's a new world record.
That's a new record. So, let's do it this way. It's 5 minutes of Mercury. Say what you want. I won't ask any questions. So just say stuff you want.
Give the microphone to Psycho.
I think yeah.
Kind of alert is just say penis for 5 minutes.
Say it in
Penis, penis.
It doesn't sound that much different from German, so I think, yeah, it won't be that original. So.
I have one thing to say.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Cupid.
Me too.
I have one thing to say, which is don't ever code an engine. Just don't. Just code and release, and then
Get a last for this job.
yeah, just code a release. Just make it nice, and then extract the parts that you can reuse and make it into a tool or whatever. But please just don't code an engine.
When we're talking about Mercury, our group, I think one thing which stands out and one thing we are proud of is that we
Have penises.
We don't all.
no.
You
Yeah.
don't all have a penis.
No, Moldy Cat doesn't. Yeah.
I assume it was about the people actually here in the campus studio.
But one thing we really like is that we all really like each other. It's a wonderful atmosphere on the IRC channel when we meet each other, and we try to keep the it's
And you're like slash
all,
me
it's all
hugging.
bunnies and unicorns. So, yeah, no, but it's a great atmosphere, and I think for me personally, this is one of the main reasons why we can put out releases in the way we do, because we understand each other and like to work with each other, and because we have a really great time with each other doing those releases, because it's really, really fun. We like it. It's not a job. It's something we really like to do.
But I would say it's still important to meet your group mates at a real demo party and not only have like a nickname on an IRC in text mode and sing. So you have to hug them in real life, don't you?
Yeah, of course. And I heard that Abductee really wants to have a nice time coding on another entry. Now.
we already leaked that information to the stream.
So I would take Abductee with me to finish.
I guess
that
that's a
scene.
good point to wrap the night up. So thank you, Mercury, for participating in our little talk show tonight. And yeah, see you tomorrow. And this is Revision 2013. If you have a chance, come next year. If you have a chance to even come tomorrow, so get a taxi, come tomorrow. And yeah, thank you for participating and have a good night. See you.
Thank you.
And always remember, Mercury loves you.
Mercury loves all of you. Thank you.